Hi guys, this is your Ate Zen from Easy Excel with Zen. So this is another part of our series on pivot table. This time we will also discuss pivot charts. So let's proceed to my spreadsheet. This is our main file and these are the headers of our main file, or these are the fields in our data. So again, always remember that your data should always have a column header and your data file should not have any blank cells, okay? Those are the two reminders, a column header and no blank cells. So let's proceed. Our requirement now is to insert or to create a pivot table as well as pivot chart. So the normal way of doing it is we are first creating a pivot table. So let's create a pivot table. Let's go to the tab Insert and then click this tab Pivot Table. Then we choose New Worksheet, so it created a pivot table on the left side of our main file. Now we will drag the files or the fields. So we want the location, we want the amount, and we want the mode of collection. So this is the pivot table that we created. Now we wanted a chart out of this pivot table. So what we will do is we'll click in any part of the pivot table and then click this tab Pivot Chart. So this is the recommended chart of the system, but we can choose whatever type of chart we wanted. But this time we will just choose this recommended by the system, so clustered column, then click OK. So we have done two steps here. First, created a pivot table, and then second is we created a chart. But there is a better way to do this. We can create a table at the same time the chart. Let's go again to my main file. We'll go again to the tab Insert. And you can see we have here another tab Recommended Charts. So let's try to click this. So the system will recommend some options on how the chart will be created. But the limitation here is it will give us only the amount and one field of that amount. It's up to you if you want to choose. If your requirement fits this chart, then you can choose one of them. But if you want to customize your chart, you want some other fields to be part of your chart, then we will not choose this option. So I will not click any of these recommended charts. Okay, I'll just cancel it. There's the tab here, Pivot Chart. We'll try to click this. And there are two options that will give us Pivot Chart and Pivot Chart and Pivot Table. We'll first try the first one, Pivot Chart. Okay, so this dialog box will give us, and it automatically selected our data. And you can also choose another file if you don't want this particular file. And then we will choose New Worksheet. If we click this, add this data to the data model, it will only create a chart. Okay, pivot table will not be created. Let's try. Let's put a check mark on this and click OK. So this is the chart that will be created, and we can customize it. We can choose the location again. We can drag the fields, the required fields, the amount, and the mode of collection. So unlike the recommended chart, it gives us only one field, only the amount and one field. But in this case, we have the mode of collection, we have the location, and we have the amount. Now let's try the other option. So again, let's go to our main file. Let's go to Insert tab and then Pivot Chart. This time we will choose Pivot Chart and Pivot Table. So same way, it will highlight the whole file and then it will be created in the new worksheet. So you have the option here. You can choose wherever you want to place your chart or table, and then add this data to that data model. Let's put a check mark and then OK. So it created a table and a chart. So whatever fields that we will drag into the table, accordingly it will also be part of our chart. So let's do it. Let's drag the location, let's drag the amount, and let's drag the mode of collection. So whatever changes that you will do in your table, it will also reflect in your chart. Now let's use some other features of our pivot table. Again, let's click our pivot table. Let's go to Analyze, and we will add Insert Slicer and Insert Timeline. Instead of putting a filter here on top of our pivot table, we will use this insert slicer. So let's click this tab, insert slicer, and let's choose whatever filtering field we wanted. So I wanted the aging, I wanted the sales associate, and then click OK. So these are the filtering tab that is available now. And I also want to use the timeline, the insert timeline. So this is the date. So click this insert timeline. You can choose the posting date or the releasing date. So these are the dates or the fields available, the date fields available in our data file. Now I'll choose the posting date. Click OK. So here are the fields that we can filter the data now. So when we are presenting, it's better to use this slicer rather than putting an arrow mark here or a filtering drop down here. Okay, so let's try. For example, I wanted sales associate Anna, and then I wanted the mode of or the aging within 6 days. So as you can see, the table and the chart are changing. And then I want a period, which month I wanted. I wanted December 2018. So it doesn't have any data. How about January? So this is the data for January. So this is how you will play your chart now, or in your table now. And if you wanted this position, you don't want the position of your slicer, you want to move the table here on the left side, we can drag the chart. We can also move the table using the move pivot table option. So let's click it, and where we wanted to put, we wanted here in G2, and then OK. So it moved accordingly. We'll just adjust the width, okay, and then the chart will just put below it. And we can also we can also resize our slicer. Okay, resize the slicer. We can interchange it. So you can play around with this. Whatever kind of design or whatever presentation that you wanted, you can do so. Okay, like that. One more thing is, I can show you the other elements of our chart. So let's click our chart, then go to design. These are the elements of our chart. There's another tab there, so add chart element, and change the axis title, okay, horizontal or vertical. We can also put a name on our chart, above the chart or centered, and some other options are there. So this time I'll just put, the chart title is there on the above the chart. Okay, if I'll put in the middle, so you can see it move in the middle of the chart. And then we can put also data labels. Labels mean it will put the amount. So if you want in the center, inside and inside base, outside end. Sorry, let me just move our chart. Okay, so outside end and data call out. So we'll just choose data call out. Then we can also put a table with legends. So the table will be created here. The table is here now. So it's easier for you to understand. Instead of this, a table will be created here. So you can remove this. Okay, so this is the legend now. And the grid lines. So it will create a grid lines in our table. Then the legend. So we want the legend to the right. The one that I deleted earlier, on top, the left, on the bottom. So it's up to you where you wanted to put. And there's also a trend line here. Okay, so you can navigate all this chart element according to your requirement. Then if you want to switch the row, okay, there's an option here also, switch the row. I'm switching the row now. As you can see, the row was switched already. Then we can also change the chart type if we don't want this is a columnar chart. If you want a bar type, you can do so as well. So all these options are available. You can do whatever presentation, whatever view of your report is required. So it depends on the user, and it depends to you who are doing the report. So I hope you're able to learn something again about pivot table and pivot table chart, and you will be able to apply it in your respective files. So thank you again, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share this to your friends, and please don't forget to hit that bell so that you will be notified once a new video will be uploaded. Bye again. Thank you, and God bless everyone. Keep safe.